What you're seeing here is a Craftmade deluxe flush mount ceiling fan from 1997. Unfortunately, I did not take a picture of the information tag, and the information tag is within the mounting bracket, and I cannot take a picture of it without taking the whole fan down. So next time when I take this fan down, I'm going to write these informations in the description box that nobody reads. And yeah. So I got this fan at Habitat for $25, which it seems like my Habitat store is getting a lot more reasonable in prices, because all their ceiling fans there were $25, which is awesome because just a couple months ago, they were selling their fans in the 70s. And apparently a lot of people have been complaining about that, is what the lady that runs the restore told me. So they just decided to dip them down to 25 and say good enough. So I'll probably go there a lot more often now because they have some pretty cool fans. They have Hampton Bay Child ceiling fan, which Ceiling Fans of Oklahoma actually has one of those, but since he's now out of the fan community, I decided not to get it and just get this fan along with the Hunter, which you'll see in the next video. So this fan is in exceptionally good condition. As you can see here, this is actually in beautiful condition. Like, look at that. I mean, it's not 100% flawless, but it's been around since 1997, so you'd expect some, flaws from there, but let's turn on the light here. And as you can see, I am using 3 different color bulbs. I have a green bulb in that one, a blue bulb in that one right there, and also a red bulb. They are all 25 watts, and they are the incandescent, of course. No LED trash or anything like that. Let's start off on low. And if I did tell you, this fan has a 4 and 5 plate configuration. And the bearings in this fan are awful, so I'm going to have to service that. So I have heard that Craftmade is one of the nicer ceiling fan brands, and that even some of their models today are still decent. But I don't know if they're like what they used to be. Now, this is low speed, and I mean, I'll have to admit, I'm unimpressed. I feel pretty much no air coming down, which is honestly kind of a little bit surprising because this fan right here has some kind of steep pitch blade irons, as you might be able to see on camera. So I don't get why it's not moving a whole bunch of air. I mean, it's low speed. It's supposed to be a slow low, which is good. But for something to be a higher end, I expect it to be a little bit better. Medium. I'm not hearing the bearing noise just yet, but when we get to high, we're probably going to hear that noise. And definitely a significant drop on medium. Now high. As you can see, that made a big jump. To be honest, I'm even starting to wonder if the capacitor may be spoiled in this thing. Oh yeah, you hear that bearing noise. And it's wobbling a little bit as well. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but it is wobbling a little bit. But it is actually moving quite a bit of air now that it's on high. Actually, it's a pretty good fan. I took back my statement about it being unimpressed. But I think this fan has a pretty good range and speeds. The low is very slow and doesn't really push a whole lot of air. Medium is like in between, and then high is tornado mode, basically. But to be honest, it does seem like the blades are pretty quiet. I think this fan would be very, very quiet if it wasn't that bearing noise. But that is something that's coming in the future. I have not replaced bearings in a ceiling fan before. However, I have taken a ceiling fan motor stator apart and fixed it. So if I could do that, I should be able to replace the bearings in it. I just have to order some, that's all. Now off. Alright, I'm gonna switch it to the 5-blade configuration. Here is the 5-blade configuration. And I had to flip over that one blade because it was pretty stretched up on that one side. So I flipped it over. And now it looks presentable. Here's low with 5 blades. You know what? I honestly like the 5-blade and 4-blade configuration concept. I think it's a pretty cool concept. And much like, I mean, it does seem like it's pushing out just a touch more air with 5 blades, but it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Medium. And also with this 4 and 5 blade technology that Craftmade made, I think it's pretty smart, you know? Like the blades right here are on the same size ring, whereas the other brands like Concord and the Encon ceiling fans, where there's a separate spot in the motor for 4 blades, then it's generally smaller than what the switch housing would be. So Craftmade kind of made it easier on us and just did on the same sort of spot in the motor. If you own one of these fans and have other fans with the 4 or 5 blade configuration, you know what I'm talking about. Now high. Does seem like on high blade, it's pretty much the same exact performance, but actually it's blowing enough air where it's blowing the passport right here, which that'll be on the next video. Actually, it's throwing out a good amount of air standing underneath it. But that bearing sound and hissing is awful. I'm gonna get new bearings for this thing. Now off. I think if I replaced the bearings in this fan, this would probably be a 10 out of 10 fan. Now you could tell it's a later model because these have the pretzel irons on there. The older ones just had, you know, the standard crescent shaped brackets that you find on most ceiling fans. I have one of the classic ones from 1990 in a previous video that I bought from an antique store in South Dakota. Alright, well that's going to wrap for this video, and I am out.